Now I'm going to bring the crouch into the back flip. And I'm going to add more frames. And this is another thing that you'll find that you're going to do quite a lot, is change up your original idea of the movement. Probably added too many frames there. And put the timeline back. New frames. Onion skin again. Insert keyframe. And now let's start with the front leg. I'm actually going to redraw the entire thing right now. So let's select the arm 2. I did not want that. Next. And drag this up. There are certain times when redrawing is necessary and other times it's not. Or not really necessary, but practical. And although I redrew it straight, I only did that just to make it closer. I'm going to take this part and bend it again. cut this part. Bring it back again. Gonna bring the back leg forward. No. Now select all. Now grab the torso. Re-straighten it out a bit. Oops. I'm going to select the legs, scale them up, and select the whole body and bring that up too. Then I'm going to select the entire thing and move it back to show a little bit of the kickoff animation. And then insert keyframe again. Select the front leg. Then straighten this out. And what I'm going to do now is take the leg from the previous frame, and I'm going to paste that where the second layer's leg is, but just bend it back a little. Then select the arms again. Now straighten out the torso even more. And can take the torso from this layer, this frame, and paste it here. Rotate the hair a little bit. Apparently there's something pretty invisible over here, so just select all it and cut it. Select all, move back more. And the arms are looking a little longer than they need to be, so select all and scale it back. And realign them to where they should be. Now select all, bring it up a little bit, and then rotate the entire thing. And so far we have this. And now we're going to bring this back over here. So we're going to use onion skin again, just to give ourselves an idea of where we're at. And I'm going to save it before anything. I don't want it crashing again. And then we have to start all that over. And okay, so now insert keyframe, move back again, and do this. That's a little too far though. Right now, since there's two there's one more frame. You want to try to divide these into pretty much 1/4, since it's beginning, middle 1, middle 2, and then the final. Using fraction movements will work pretty well. Now select the arms again and bring them up. Now grab this, straighten with a little bit straighter torso. Paste in place, rotate it to where it looks about the same. Paste in place. Rotate the hair and move it back. Line the legs so that they aren't stabbing out of the shirt. I'm going to move this shirt a little bit because it's getting too far down. And actually, I think I can just move it like this. No, well, I can, but the fill is being stubborn. And now I'm gonna cut this part of the shirt. There we go. And bend this inwards so that the line won't intercept it. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to take this leg and we're going to start making the leg go into the 4 position right here. So lock all the layers except for this, rotate it up, bend it down. Oh, I think I'm going to have to lengthen the legs a little bit. So select all, bring them out. And again, back to the whole repetitive movement things. Gonna do this quite a lot. This is probably one of the reasons why you see more motion tween animators than you do frame-by-frame animators. Or at least, unless you're on Newgrounds, in which case you see them pretty equally. And bring the leg out a little more. And bring this leg a little in. And let's see. I'm gonna move the arms a little up more. Bring them back. And now move on to this frame. Insert keyframe. And on this one, I think it'll be pretty easy. You should. Let's see. This time I'm going to use the lasso tool to select. Oh, crap. No. I'm going to try grabbing a straight cut. There we go. And right now I can tell that is not really 1/4 on the previous one, so I'll edit that after this. First I'm going to straighten this fill back out. Hopefully it will. There we go. Okay, now that that part's done, I'm going to grab the torso again. Well, not the entire torso, I'm going to select here and here. There's a little line right there. There we go. And I'm going to shear this back over here. Select the line and move it out of the way, paste in place. I'm going to take this and move it over here. I'm going to cut this section off. Now we get onto the legs. And it just double clicked out of them. And I'm going to remove the onion skin. If it goes away, there we go. Select it again, bring this up. Bring the leg down, or the back leg down. Let's see how the back leg looks. Okay, the bend is a little too high here. Oh, and down. Now I'm gonna take frame 4, layer 4, I'm gonna click envelop, and hopefully this works out. No, that's moving too much. Okay, so I'll just select all that, bring it out here. Rotate. And realign again. Got horrible. Let's see. Okay, now that this is done, select all. This is the one that I said didn't look like it was in the 1/4 position. When you use onion skin, it gives you a good idea, so you want to try to make the movement about as evenly as possible. So now going back to here, bring this out more. And now let's transition to the back foot. And as you can see, it actually looks pretty nice. Of course, it's stiff because I didn't try to get it perfect. I could take the leg, bend it up a little more. take this leg, scale it down, give it a little more bend, and show a minimal separation, which would lead into here. But again, this having it look entirely accurate is for something when you're actually trying to make it look accurate. And control test scene. And right now it's not really showing the final part yet because it's only on frame 10. And this has 14 frames. Bring it to frame 14, insert frame, control and test scene, and you'll see the character right down here. And I'm gonna stop the recording real quick because my computer is 133 degrees. But I will be back to do the final part. I think the final part I'll do in time-lapse just because you got the main idea from all this. But I'll do the time-lapse version so you can see me do all this just fast. So I'll see you in a couple seconds in the video time. A lot more than seconds in real time. The speed through of me doing the rest of the motion, well, the frame by frame. Now it's time to modify the document so we can see the entire thing. I'm going to change the dimensions to 1400 for the width and keep the height this 800. Just give more room. And just to recap about what I said, graphic symbols show how many, well, the graphics symbols need to have as many frames in the main timeline as there are in the inner timeline. So for this, there are 14 frames. So for the main timeline, there also needs to be 14. And now I'm going to show you what the whole thing looks like, although you probably already saw a good idea from the speed through. So we're going to test scene, and as you can see, it's pretty good. Now, if you want to see what it looks like and it's a little too fast, you can change the FPS, which is frames per second. Right now I have them at 24 FPS. So I can take it and change it to, say, 14 FPS. That means that since this is actually 14 frames, the backflip animation will take an entire second. Test scene. And as you can see, it moves a lot slower. So the slower you go, the more time you can make in the timeline. Well, right now it says 0.9 seconds, even though it is 1 whole second. But, oh well, that's Flash being weird. Now if you take the FPS and double the speed of what it originally is, so it's 14, so 28, then it will only be half a second. Control to scene, and you can see it moves a lot faster. As for me, since I'm mainly a motion tween animator, I usually animate at 30 frames per second. Although if I want to go for frame by frame animation, it's a lot more efficient to do 24 frames per second. A lot of people use 24 frames per second. Slightly less use 26 to 30 frames per second. My first animation, I did 12 frames per second, and that was a horrible animation, but first animation, so generally, at first they'll look good when you're first starting out, then when you progress further into animation, you look back and you're like, God. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this tutorial, animating basic movements. I'll go over a recap one more time of each frame. As you can see, all these are keyframes. You need to use keyframes and frame by frame animation. Actually, instead of dragging, I think I can just press period. Yep. And the main reason why is for keyframes is, you see how this is the start position, this is the end position. You get rid of all these keyframes, clear keyframe, and it's just the beginning and the end. It's no longer registering the keyframe data, so they are no longer their individual selves. So keyframes are very useful. Anyways, yeah, that's it. I hope you guys found this tutorial useful, and it is a very long tutorial. But that's animation for you. Animation takes patience and imagination, so you gotta commit patience. So I do hope you guys find this very useful. Again, I've mentioned that 3 times already. If you found it useful, please subscribe and comment below if you'd like to see another tutorial about something in Flash. Ciao, Mata!